Brett Baty joins the show. Keith Raad from Odyssey Mets Radio previews Mets Phillies. And Tim Robbins, have you heard of him? Oscar winner on the show. Can you believe it? Nuke LaLoosh, Andy Dufresne. It's all happening right here in the cage. My name is Mike Janela. This is the Mets official Citi Field Series preview show. Before we get to all that, though, and you will watch the Mets get in the cage or warm up too, we have the leadoff spot. It's the most important stat you need to know before the Mets take on the Phillies for 3 games here at Citi Field. That stat is 9-1. That's the Mets' home record this year. Puts them in some rare company. It's tied for the second best home start in team history. Best ever was 2015. They went 10-0. Can't beat that. That team made it to the World Series. Also going 9-1, joining these guys, the 1986 Mets. And we all know how that season ended. I'm looking at their banner hanging up right here at Citi Field as we speak. So we'll break down everything you need to know to see if the Mets can keep that hot start going. Again, Brett Baty, Keith Raad, Tim Robbins coming up in the cage. Brett Baty, who just stepped out of that cage and now in the cage here. Appreciate you joining us, man. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So temperatures today dropped, but your bat's been warming up. Last 7 games, I mean, 304, OBP 360. You got your 3 extra base hits, couple ribbies, 3 runs. What's been clicking for you now this last week or so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just always trying to go up there and have good at-bats, and I'm having some right now, and the team's winning. We just swept the Cardinals, so everybody's on a high note right now.
A high note, it's kind of a rising tide raises all ships, I would imagine. Have you been picking anything up from guys maybe like Pete or maybe like Juan that you were watching at the beginning of the season that now is transferred to what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, Pete's on a heater right now. He's seeing the ball really good. He said the other day his mechanics are spotless right now, which is putting him in a good spot. And then, yeah, just trying to always pick the brain of the best hitter in the world, Juan Soto, number 22. So, yeah, definitely have those conversations on this team. So
you guys do have that amazing start at home, historically amazing, putting you up there with some iconic teams in Mets history. We know the obvious reasons for home field advantage, right? You're sleeping in your own bed, you've got, the dimensions of the park, you got your fans. Is there anything we're overlooking? Like, is there any secret part of home field advantage that we really never talk about? I
mean, yeah, I'll probably talk about it, but we had a sellout on Saturday night, which was amazing. It was so rowdy in here, and we feed off that energy. So, and then turn around, and again yesterday it was packed out again. So that's just really helpful for us out on the field.
So that's not just lip service to the fans. That really makes a difference for you guys having that many people going that crazy.
No, it's huge. It's huge, and I think the other team feels the same way, especially when we get on them early like we did Saturday night, and the stadium's rocking early in like the 2nd inning. The other team feels that pressure early, so it was good.
You guys are in a stretch now too, and you're playing very well through it, but 13 games, 13 straight days, 2 coasts, 3 time zones, and the baseball's still been winning. What are some things you do to stay fresh mentally, physically, when you're playing for 2 straight weeks, basically?
Yeah, you just set the alarm and you hope it's on the right time zone, and you just get up and come to the ballpark and play. But no, our nutritionist is amazing at taking care of us and getting us the proper sleep we need, the proper nutrition. But yeah, sometimes I forget what day it is, what city we're in. So
just but you see ball and hit ball.
Yeah, exactly.
It, right? Any superfood, like secret superfood that maybe you can tell us, can help us with our day-to-day?
No, I always eat grapes on the plane. So
grapes on the plane. All right, love it. The Brett Baty secret. Let's talk about Philly real quick, because this is a team that is obviously expected to contend with you guys throughout the entirety of this division. They got a deep staff. It's just aces every time they take a turn in the rotation. How do you prepare individually and as a lineup when you're facing this many good arms night after night in a series?
Yeah, I mean, we really all just have to be committed to a team plan, going up there and just handing the baton to the next guy, and just really having quality at bats all night, because they do have a really good staff over there. But so do we. So it's going to be a fun series, fun rest of the season against them. And so.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, big rivalry time. This could be a real early statement maker for you guys. How amped is it when you see a division rival like that across the diamond? Is that enough to get you that little extra boost to lock in?
Yeah, I mean we're always locked in, especially when we're playing on a major league field. But yeah, definitely seeing the Phillies over there. We have history with them, so it definitely gives us a little bit more incentive.
All right, Brett Baty, stay hot. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank you.
Keith Raad from Odyssey Mets Radio joining us. As always, I think we make this a permanent thing now. I've enjoyed having you so much. Everyone's loving you. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That works out.
We'll get you one of those like SNL 5-timer jackets.
This is a nice jacket. I'm a little cold out here, so
we'll talk. My man is coming out here. Sun's out. Or sun's not out. Guns are out. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Keith. We're here to talk about the New York Mets, who are off to an historic start at home as we look toward this Phillies series. 9-1 now. We talked at the top of the show, the company that puts them in Mets history. You've seen every pitch, home and road, so far this year. What's been the difference you've seen between this team here at Citi Field versus on the road?
Yeah, I think they're just alive because the fan base is here every single night. I mean, in April we go to these other cities and other towns that have good teams, and there's 18,000, 20,000 people because it's cold. They don't want to show up yet. But with what the team did last year, the buzz of getting Juan Soto in, all of the winning, all that stuff helps. And that helps performance on the field like you wouldn't believe. I mean, 9-1 is 9-1, and every single night you get that feeling because there's so many people around here cheering them on.
I think Minnesota in particular looked like what we think about old school March, April crowd.
A little bit light.
Nothing like here so far. But on the field, obviously fans are a huge part of that, but on the field, the pitching staff. Still number one in the majors in ERA, 2.35, entering a series against the Phillies lineup that's got some brand name bats. The haters will say it's not sustainable. No 2.35 ERA this day and age is, but how legitimately real, sustainably, is the staff? Has the pitching lab and David Stearns and Jeremy Huffner done it again with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, what they have done on the field is terrific. I'm a nerd myself, so I look at FIP, I look at expected ERA, and they're right in line with what the team is actually doing on the field. There's the predictive numbers of what should happen, and then the actual numbers that are right there. I don't know if the Mets will have a 2-something ERA for the whole year, but the numbers would tell you the Mets should have a 2-something ERA for the whole year. That's how well everybody is pitching right now. And just heard from David Stearns, president of baseball operations, who says, they don't think that they're going to be this elite all year because you're just expecting baseball to be up and down, like a roller coaster. But starters, relievers, you have 3 starters who are down, and they're doing this. It's terrific. It's whatever they're doing, that little pitching lab, it's terrific.
Keep it going, exactly. Now let's look to the matchup. Phillies, I know the Mets have played the Marlins, but this is the first really feels like NL East heavyweight matchup of the year. Do you consider this the biggest Mets rivalry? Is this their biggest, with the way Atlanta started, their biggest threat to staying at the top of the NL East this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's God, Philly and Atlanta, they're both. You go to Atlanta, it's a terrifying place. The Mets had to slay their demons. You go into Citizens Bank Park, not an easy place to play. The Phillies are really good. Philly as a city is a little bit of an acquired taste, we can all agree. So there's, of course, that little back and forth. But yeah, with what happened last year in the playoffs, the NLDS, the Mets cooked against the Phillies. Not just in the playoffs, but that last series here at Citi Field before that. And you knew going into that playoff series that the Mets were going to own it. And this is now their time. We talk about how tough Atlanta is to play in and Philly is to play in. Talk about 9-1 at home. The Mets need to make Citi Field a tough place for everybody in the division to come to. And once you do that, then they're right up there with the other two guys.
Establish this place as the house of horrors for other people, and they have a chance to really make that statement with these 3 games. All right, Keith, we always like to end with you. Any fun behind-the-scenes stuff from the booth that we haven't been privy to as a public, maybe listening?
I tried not to make this sound obvious on the air. I was on the air with Pat the other day during the Mets-Miami Marlins game, and I fell out of my chair in the middle of making a call. And so I'm holding myself up, writing in the book as this chair is upside down. Pat's falling on the floor laughing. Madge is behind us, our producer, trying to flipping the chair over, and I'm 2-2 in the dirt. I'm just trying to hang in there, but little did my legs got kicked out from under me there.
From the edge of your seat call to literally under the seat. Love it. Keith Raad, appreciate you. As always, have a great call this year.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
We're back with more In the Cage right after this. I am here with Academy Award winner Luke Lelouch, Andy Dufresne, and most importantly of all, huge Mets fan, Tim Robbins. This is awesome, lifelong. How are you?
Good.
Great to have you here. You are a huge Mets fan. You've come to a ton of games. You've thrown out first pitches. How, though, did you become a Mets fan? We were talking a little bit right before we hit the record button here. I wanted to save the story so everyone could understand. You grew up in New York City as a kid, right?
Yes.
Why blue and orange and not the other side of town?
Because my parents were National League.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they were. My mom was from St. Louis, so she was a Cardinal fan, and Dad was from Los Angeles, so the Dodgers had just arrived there. They weren't really heavy Dodger fans.
Yeah,
But
58?
when we came to New
57?
York, it was in 1961.
Okay.
So the Mets were brand new.
Yeah.
And so my parents were like, let's go to Shea. It was 64 when we got into Shea, I think.
Yeah, Polo Grounds first 2 years,
so
Shea in 64.
65 or 66 was my first Met game. And then my mom, in October 1969, there was one morning when she wasn't there, right? She usually cooked breakfast. And she wasn't there. And, she made up some excuse, but what she'd really done is she'd gone out on the 7 train at 4 in the morning to wait online to get tickets for my birthday, October 16th, for Game 5.
Moms are the best, man.
Mom got me tickets, and I saw the Mets win the World Series.
That's incredible.
In person, back row,
Wow.
Shea Stadium.
That's amazing.
and they won, the crazy, field celebration.
Right, which doesn't happen anymore, but back then everyone was
So
flooded.
I'm with my grandma at this game, and I run down the field, and I'm about to jump over, and I look back, and my grandma was like,
So grandma stopped you from jumping on the field in 69.
so I didn't get any grass.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't get any of the foam outfield wall covering, but on the subway home, I got some foam and I got some grass.
There you go. And you got to be at the Mets clinching for their first ever World
And I
Series.
was here in '86 when they won.
That's incredible. That's amazing. I mean, if that doesn't make you a lifelong fan at that formative of an age, I don't know what
Plus,
does.
the '69 Mets were, the Miracle Mets.
Yeah.
And that was an almost impossible task. And if that happened in my life, there's no way I'm calling it another team.
So,
It's not gonna happen.
for good reason, you've stuck with the Mets
Yes, sir.
ever since. So who have been your guys? Who have been your favorite players? Like who are Tim Robbins' top tier dudes over the years?
All right, so you got definitely Cleon Jones and Tommy Agee, and what a great team. Ed Charles, Seaver, Swoboda.
You're gonna give me a whole roster, and it's all just
It's
before
all-
we even get to
it's all
1973.
ingrained in there. Kuzman, Nolan Ryan. But then, that '86 crew was rough and ready, and what a great group that was.
A fun group.
Yeah.
I've talked to Mookie Wilson before and asked him, would you guys make it today with social media and all the stuff? He's like, no.
No way.
It would have destroyed
No way.
us.
It would have been destroyed. We actually, when Susan was pregnant with Jack, we called him Mookie.
Really?
Yeah, that was '89.
Good influence there, yeah. Over the years, obviously, you stayed with it and your fandom and you calling your kids Mookie and stuff like that, but how easy or hard is it to follow any pro sports team, or especially the Mets, when you're on set? I'm sure it's easier between projects, but when you're working, I mean, are you in your trailer listening on the radio? Nowadays it's easier with technology, but how have you been able to manage that through an acting
It's actually been
career?
really difficult. I've been in London the past 4 years doing Silo, and that relationship's got to get better.
The time difference?
It's hard. Well, it's hard to find, like the MLB. Anyway, I miss the Mets when I'm over there.
Have you ever in your career rescheduled something or pushed back on a project to say,
yeah.
hey, Mets are, really? When? When?
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, there's ways to clear your schedule if there's important games coming up.
I love that. Any particular ones that come to mind that you've remembered?
Well, yeah, we were on that playoff run in, remember that? We went to the last game. It was a tragic game when we lost to the Yankees. Oh my God.
Oh, in 2000.
Yeah.
Subway Series, yeah.
That was I think I had to rearrange some scheduling for that one. But yeah, it's, listen, the team is such a, part of my life, and, I'm always down for doing anything for the Mets.
And I think you've earned enough credibility in the industry that you can ask a director, hey, gonna need like a day off, watch the Mets, or like push something back, right?
If
I would
it's
think,
important.
if it's important enough, right? Other people in the business, Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin James, they'll make their characters Mets fans sometimes. I don't think any of your characters have ever been like a fan in canon. Is that something that ever interests you to maybe pursue?
No, actually, when I was doing Bull Durham, it was like, I think Durham was a Brave.
At the time, affiliate.
Minor league, and those, I hated the Braves.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to wear a Brave hat. No, definitely not.
Yeah, I love that. Keeping the commitment even to the art, which is great. Who is it? Which teams do you hate the most? Because you've kind of been through the whole gamut of Braves. Yeah, top of the list.
Well, they're always like our nemesis.
Yeah.
Who else do we hate, Mel?
Yankees, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right. The worst team in the world is the Yankees, of course. Yeah.
Said by Tim Robbins,
Okay,
just
so
FYI.
You know what bothers me the most? If you're a New Yorker, fine.
Okay.
You're a Yankee.
You're rooting for the city. Yeah.
You live in the Bronx or upper Manhattan, fine. I get it. But it's the people from outside the city that move to the city that become Yankee fans. I'm like, no. And then I know of one particular person that was a Met fan, a famous person.
Oh.
That was a Met fan and then turned.
Can we name names?
No.
Well, that's a cardinal sin. So whoever it is, tell them, that's not
He
how
knows.
it's supposed to be. He knows. If he's watching, he knows. I'm going to let you go because you do have to watch this game soon. You came here to watch some Mets baseball. But obviously Bull Durham, iconic. And when I was growing up, baseball movies, they were coming out like classic ones all the time. Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, Sandlot, Little Big League, Angels in the Outfield, all of it. And now it feels like it's been so long, maybe Moneyball, 42. It's been like over a decade. We're kind of in this drought of really good baseball movies, I feel like. What's happening in Hollywood, man? Why is this?
You tell me, man.
I have no idea.
It's falling apart. They don't make movies about baseball anymore.
Can you rectify that? Do you have any stroke?
That's probably, I bet you could find where the decline of Hollywood happened right around when they stopped making
baseball movies.
So yeah, get back at it, Hollywood.
Do you still? I mean, you did some training for Nuke LaLoosh back in the day. If you were in a baseball movie now? What do you think? Like grizzled coach, former player? Can you still throw?
Grizzled
what do you
coach
remember?
/ made a comeback in my 50s with a knuckleball.
I like that. The Charlie Huff story, maybe.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love the idea of an ancient person just throwing that knuckleball.
And lasting until
winning a championship.
Whoever knows how long. Yeah, I love it. Get the script written and just give me, I don't know, executive producer credit.
You know, I knew Jim
here.
Bouton.
Oh yeah, ball 4.
Yeah, and he was a knuckleball.
Yeah, there you go.
He showed me how to throw it.
You've already done your research. Look at that. Tim Robbins has the knuckleball.
God bless his soul.
All we need is the script. Appreciate you so much.
Who happened to be a Yankee, but one of the very few beautiful.
That will let it slide, right? Exactly. Tim, thank you very much. And I mean, check out Silo on Apple TV Plus, and check out Tim at Mets games. He's coming here all the time. So much appreciated. Really cool talking to you. Hope you enjoyed, and let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Hope you're ready for this series. Game times are as follows: Monday tonight, 7:10, tomorrow 7:10, then Wednesday the 1:10 day game. Tonight's pitching matchup: Tyler McGill, Aaron Nola. Tomorrow, Griffin Canning for the Mets, Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies, and then David Peterson versus Zach Wheeler. It's just all aces on the Phillies side, and guys who are pitching like aces for the Mets so far. Should be a fantastic series. Our thanks to Brett Baty, Keith Raad as always, and Tim Robbins. I still can't believe we got an Academy Award winner on the show here. Hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Mike Janela. Make sure to keep following the Mets on all your favorite social media channels, and I'll catch you next time in the cage.